Okay, so today I just wanted to talk about my experience with aftermarket straps, or actually branded straps, for different watches. So my view on strap changing has changed quite a lot, probably in the last 2 or 3 years. My initial view was always, I'm buying a watch and it should stay on the strap it comes on. That's why I like it. That's what drew me to that watch in the first place. And as a result, keep it on it. That's why I bought it. I didn't want to damage the lugs, front, back, anything like that. It's not something I'd done before. I hadn't really experimented or researched it. And I also thought it cheapened the watch. So if you buy a watch on a bracelet and then put rubber on it, or a NATO, I was always under the impression it cheapens the watch. And my wife is still very much under that impression and does not like what I have done to either of the watches you can see before you. But luckily it's all about what I like and not what she likes. So due to this, for many years, 9 years in fact, for this little sucker, it's just stayed on its bracelet. So where did it all kind of start for me? So I had a Longines, and I'll put a picture of that in now. It came on a rubber strap, and I wore that every day. And I've mentioned this before, I had my Longines and this watch, and that's all I had for about 5 years really. And I wore the Longines every day, and I just got a bit bored with the rubber strap. So I started playing around with putting on different leather straps on it, and I bought a couple of different leather straps. I actually had one custom made by someone on the TZ forum, and I butchered the lugs on that. Top of the lugs, back of the lugs, side of the lugs, front of the lugs. There were just gnat bites everywhere taken out of that watch, which wasn't very sensible really, because I wore it all the time. It did go for a couple of services in my ownership, I think 3, and it came back looking 90% each time, but you can imagine how much metal they're having to take away to bring those lugs back to where they should be. So a cheap-ish watch, but I wish I'd gone cheaper. I didn't learn, and I moved on to my Black Bay 58, the original one. And again, I butchered the lugs. The spring bar actually came out the top of the lug and clipped the top of the lug here on both sides and took gnat bites out the top. And I had to send that to a watchmaker who put a very tiny chamfer on the inside of the lug to get rid of the damage that I caused. So that watch also went from a bracelet to a Tudor NATO back to a bracelet, and my Longines went from the rubber strap that Longines provided with it to rubber strap, to the leather strap, and then back to the original supplied rubber strap. So 2 failures there, really causing a huge amount of damage and frustration. I am quite anal about the condition of my watches and how I look after them. So both of those caused me quite a lot of frustration, let's say. I then had my Zelos and this Seiko. And to be honest with you, without changing the strap of this, I wouldn't own this watch anymore. I've done a full review of this watch, so I'll just put it on my wrist. And the bracelet on it, I think, is really poor. It's £1,000 watch, and I really don't like the bracelet on it at all. It's heavy. It's fairly attractive. The clasp on it, I think, is really poor. So on this strap, I absolutely love this watch. Not only does it have an incredible look for my taste, it's way more comfortable because it's got actually, that's not true. The bracelet's actually fairly comfortable. It is more comfortable on the strap, mainly because of the lightness. It really does make the watch significantly lighter. That the strap is bulky, the clasp is bulky. It makes the watch feel low quality. On my review, which I've done a full review, I explained that the watch head itself is actually a really high quality thing, but the strap lets it down. So without changing the strap on this, that would no longer be in my collection. I have I don't know if you'll be able to see it, very slight strap changing marks behind the lugs on this one. I haven't been massively careful with this one. I'm going to keep this watch for quite a long time, I think. So maybe I should have been more careful, but I haven't been too crazy with strapping it up and taping it up and being really careful with it, but I have been careful. I've got no marks on top of the lugs or the front of the lugs. I've got a lot better at changing the straps on that, and in general, to be honest with you. But the game changer for me was this, really, and this is just jeweler's tape. I think I got this from Amazon, and it's very, very thin. Very, very thin. This top side of it is very slippery, but it's very robust. So if a spring bar hits it, it's never punctured it. And if it does hit it, it kind of slides off it. So what I tend to do now is I put on my big boy pants, and after 9 years, I finally changed the strap on my Omega. And I put this on the front, all over the lugs. I just covered the lugs basically in this, and I managed to change the strap on this and not get a single strap changing mark on the watch, on the back of the lugs itself. There are some marks from where the bracelet was on the back of the lugs, but there's no strap changing damage at all on the back of those lugs or the front of the lugs or anything. So between using this tape and this Bourguignon tool here, I'm a lot more confident than I was before. And again, why did I change this? I'll put this one on as well. I changed this because I had the watch serviced in May and I just hadn't been wearing it. I've been having to force myself to wear it, and I love this watch. It's the watch I've owned for 9 years. I got it when I was 30. I got it when I decided to make a big career change. I got it when the month of my daughter was born, and I absolutely love how it looks on this strap. But I just stopped wearing it. The main reasons were that the bracelet was starting to show signs of stretch. The bracelet was obviously going to keep getting knackered the more I wore it and scratched up. And also the bracelet wasn't particularly comfortable. The bracelet on these watches is a butterfly clasp, so it doesn't have micro adjustment. It has half links and full links, and that's it. So when it's cool, it's tight like how I feel now, and I do that, it just goes whoop, and then just flops around on my wrist a lot. But then if I adjust it a half link smaller, it's just super tight when I'm hot, so it's really uncomfortable. So it looks better on the bracelet, I'm not denying that. And again, I'll put pictures of these watches up as I'm talking through them. But I really like that. It dresses the watch down. It makes it a lot more casual. I like the comfort of this strap, and I'll come on to these straps in a moment, is superb. My wife hates this. She hates the look of it, but it's not her watch. But ultimately, it means I'm going to wear the watch a lot more. And that's the point, right? If I've got a lovely watch upstairs sitting in my box because it's not particularly comfortable, or I wear it when it's cold and it's slipping around my wrist everywhere, what's the point? And I'm never going to sell it. It's too important to me. So I'm not going to lie, I was bricking it, absolutely bricking it when I started changing the strap on it. I was very, very careful. And like I say, lots of tape. So really, really pleased with the outcome of that. I actually had it on this strap originally. I think I did a video on this strap on white pants, but I'll come on to that again in a minute. So yeah, really, really happy about that. I'll now use the watch a lot. I'll put it back on the bracelet still, but I have my IWC on the bracelet, my 40th watch, not my 50th, blimey. That'll be on a bracelet. So I've still got other bracelet watch options for smart occasions. So what are the key lessons that I've learned? Personally, I did have Bourguignon tweezers, but what you have to do is kind of get them like that, put them into the right place, get them around where the strap is, and then squeeze them and then try and move it all out. And it was just too much, and I kept scratching the lugs using them. I didn't like them. I couldn't get on with them at all. These are Bourguignon as well. So what's this? A 6767. You get the extra ones with it. So you've got for the fatter, I'm assuming, pins. I haven't actually used that. And that's for various different bits on the hardware that you can use, and I've got one there on that end as well. So lots of tape. This Bourguignon tool, a good, I know this sounds contradictory, but a sharp, very precise end of the tool really makes a big difference. And so you can get down the side properly without damaging the strap or the watch. Patience, make sure you've got time. You need to sit down, strap up the lugs with tape, and then just be patient. Also, when I'm changing the straps, I make sure I've got my finger underneath. So the worst case scenario is the spring bowl pop out the back, not the front. I learnt that the hard way, as I say, with my Tudor. Definitely make sure you haven't had any beers. You do need time and patience in order to do this and do it properly. Ultimately, you probably will mark the watch at some point. I think it's going to be harder to put the bracelet back on than it was to take it off. So you probably will mark the watch a small bit, but if it means I'm wearing a watch a lot more, I'm okay with that. And it is practice. It takes a lot of practice to make sure the damage is only on the back. You're not taking nap bites out of the top and the front and just butchering the whole lug, or lugs in my case. I'm just reading my notes quickly. I would recommend this. I'll try and find it and put a link in the description. Practice on the cheapest watch you can. Don't do what I did and practice on £1,000 watch and then a £2,500 watch like a complete muppet. I should have practiced on one of my other watches first. I've got a Hugo Boss and a Seiko. Goodness knows why I didn't do that. That was really stupid. And ultimately, for me, it can really change how a watch looks. These on bracelets compared to on the NATOs look completely different, and it's reinvigorated the watches for me, especially this one. And as I say, without changing straps, this one will be sold. So that's what I've learned. The other thing I want to talk about very quickly is the quality of straps. So these two are Haveston. I've had 3 or 4 Haveston straps now, and they are brilliant. Really high quality straps. This is a really fine one, so you can see it's quite floppy. It's very silky and smooth. This one's really rigid. Well, that's not flopping anywhere. But very, very, very comfortable. The hardware on these is fantastic. There's no jiggling. There's no unnecessary movement. Look at all that stitching. There's fantastic stitching on that. They're just brilliant. This is a watch gecko strap. The strap itself is okay. The hardware is pants. So what you've got is 2 metal sleeves that sit either side of this. And when it's on your wrist, I'm not going to be able to get it to do it now, which is going to really bug me. These constantly make that noise. It does my head in. So while it's a nice quality strap, the hardware at the top of it completely ruins it. This was a cheap sailcloth, but actually rubber strap that I bought off the Watch Gecko site. It's not Watch Gecko's though, it is someone else's. Oh, I can't remember whose it is now. Zulu Diver. I'm not a fan of this either. It's got quick release spring bars, that's nice, but it's very firm. It's not very comfortable and it doesn't feel very well made. This is a very nice strap. This is a Longines rubber strap. Oh, sorry, a Hirsch, my bad. A Hirsch Accent rubber strap. It is super supple, really soft. It's got a nice cavity on the inside to try and let the moisture drain away from your wrist as much as possible. It's got lovely textures to it. It's a very, very soft watch, and you can buy the deployment as an option, which I did. I'm actually selling this one because it just doesn't suit this watch, which is what I bought it for, and I don't want to wear it on this watch. But it's a very, very nice strap. But the difference is 65 pounds, 20 quid. This one was about 25. These are both about 25-ish. That was about 25 as well. So I would say if you can find one that you like style-wise, go to Haveston. They are absolutely cracking straps, really high quality, really comfortable, very nice hardware. Plus you can get brushed, polished, black, whatever you want. So anyway, that's probably enough of my ramblings. I think if you've got a watch sitting in a drawer and you're not sure if you're going to wear it again, what have you got to lose? It really did bring this one back to life for me, and it stopped me selling this one. So yeah, as always, I'll put some links in. Any questions, let me know.